Good morning, my loves. Good morning. How you doing, sister?
Let's start with love. Let's start with love.
Baby. Good morning. I'm wonderful. I am wonderful. How you doing, Sister Angela? You good? It's all right to get on up and hold on to me. Good morning, sweetness.
DJ Envy over there.
Hi, my sweetness. I will get around to you, but it's crowded.
All right.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We have a special guest in the building.
Absolutely.
Miss Monique.
Hey, my babies. Good morning. Good morning.
Her husband's on the phone line as well.
Brother
Sydney, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, y'all.
Now, when Monique walked in, I gave her a hug. I wanted her to know it's all love.
Yes, he did, my love.
We just here to have a conversation. That's
all
all
we're doing.
That's all. Now, what's going on today, Miss Monique?
Well, baby, first I want to say to Eddie, to your producer, thanks for sharing the platform with us. And a while ago, when I came up with
that wasn't Eddie, that was us both.
Yeah, Eddie lucky he here. All right?
Okay, well, okay. Let me thank all three of y'all for sharing your platform with me and my husband.
Alrighty.
But a while ago, I had to come out, and I spoke in reference to Netflix. That we had to I was asking folks to stand with us as we boycott Netflix for gender bias and color bias.
Correct.
And we were fighting for equality. And then I found out that I had become Donkey of the Day.
Yes.
By Leonard. And I got to call you by your name, baby, because
Leonard.
Yes. Okay. Okay, baby. He's getting real special, Leonard. But we're going, okay, Leonard.
It is Leonard.
And then I was called Donkey of the Day, and it really caught me off guard. Because when I met this brother some years ago, and I always go back to it because I met him in an elevator at Turner Station. And I met a young man that was full of humility and respect. And when I got on that elevator, he actually held the door. I remember it like it was yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
And I said, oh, baby, thank you. And he was just like that. Yes, ma'am. And Miss Monique, it's a pleasure to meet you. And we had a very beautiful exchange. And I said to that brother, tell your mama that she raised you right.
That's a
and
fact.
he said it was my mama and my grandmama.
Yes, ma'am.
So I felt like this was, and still is, a beautiful young brother making his way, but full of humility and respect. Till we fast forward, and I become Donkey of the Day. So I didn't want to have it to be hearsay. I didn't want to have anybody exchange words that I may have said to him. So my husband and I wanted to come on so we could understand how I got titled Donkey of the Day.
So why'd you give a donkey today, Charlamagne?
Well, I think it was due to the whole Netflix situation. When I heard you say that, you wanted us to boycott because of racial and gender bias, but then you went on to, mention two brothers and a woman. So I said maybe she should be more specific and say black woman gender bias. But then also just from a business aspect, I wanted to know, why did you feel like, you should have gotten whatever Chris Rock got, whatever Dave Chappelle got, or whatever Amy Schumer got? Because I feel like this is a what are you doing for me right now type of industry.
Well, she didn't say what they got. She said she should have got more than she was offered.
And then, Charlamagne, you brought up an old Netflix special as well.
But that was later on. But my point was, like, this is a what are you doing for me right now kind of industry. We all know Monique is a legend, but we also know that those deals that Netflix are giving out are based off recent stand-up shows, recent concert, recent arenas, recent tours like that. So I just wanted to know why you felt like you deserved that much.
Well, Daddy, would you like to start or would you like for me?
Whichever you prefer. But
hey, hello, what's up? It is your girl, Nelly Lee, a.k.a. Ida Marie, about to jump into this tea. So, did y'all know that Monique went on the Breakfast Club, confronting them face to face? I know I probably showed something a little bit earlier than this video, but did y'all see it? Let's look at a clip, not a clip, like a little video, and then we're going to break it down, explain what's going on.
If we're going to go back to the conversation that we had with Robbie, it didn't start with the offer where the color bias and the disrespect transpired. It started from when we had our initial conversation after Monique got her reviews from the nights in which Benjamin and Caitlin, who were representatives for Netflix, came out to see Monique, in which on two different nights they saw her get a standing ovation, which subsequently gave them reviews of amazing and great show. So when we're in the midst of having the conversation prior to them giving the offer, we're in the midst, and he says, well, I want to make it very clear that, people speak about Dave Chappelle, Amy Schumer, and what they got. I want to just make it clear, so we can manage expectations that everybody doesn't get those type of deal. Well, when we're in the midst of that conversation, the phone disconnects. We never reconvene.
Okay, so didn't anybody hear that? It basically, he just said, Monique's husband just said, that's our manager. We all know that. They didn't want people to have other comedians, or I guess maybe other people out there to have the same amount of money that Chris Rock and who was the other person? Dave Chappelle made. Did he really just say that? I mean, wow. I mean, really, Netflix? I guess they feel like they made a mistake giving Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle all that money and said they don't want them to make that much money anymore. Wow. I mean, let's hear some more.
Never gets us back on. And our attorney calls me up, and we speak, and we're like, well, that was strange. Are we going to get back on the phone or not? Because anybody who does business knows that this is a key time in which to build the value of your client. Then we came back with an offer that they allegedly had sent over that our attorney and I had never received. And then on that, it was a certain time limit in which we were supposed to respond. Well, we had passed the time limit because we never received it. When our attorney had asked them to please resend the offer that they had allegedly sent, it was clear that it had never been sent in the first place. That's the second red flag. When we get on the phone to discuss the offer that they had then finally sent over, initially they didn't want to have the conversation until I expressed to them, it is very ironic that the call we had was disconnected. We never reconvened. You became evasive. You can't get on the phone. Now I have to express what it's feeling like, which is gender bias, color bias, and there's also an age issue that we didn't discuss that's in there as well. So those three things are what led to it, in conjunction with the fact that the very items that he said did not translate for Monique, which were her resume, what she's done in terms of movies, it didn't translate, but he said those were the things that translated for Amy Schumer.
Now,
we just wanted to know, why did it work for Amy, but it doesn't work for her? Because what she just did in terms of what Monique's body of work contends with or resulted in, it's all part of the resume, just like Amy Schumer's resume.
Okay, so they clicked the phone. The phone ended, the conversation ended when, out of the blue, I think that's very unprofessional right there. And then they wanted her resume from the past, but they said the resume from the past is not going to work, but it worked for Amy Schumer because she's more relevant. Looking at Cardi B as the most hot thing right now. A lot of people, Remy Ma is there, but they're not really. Do you think that Remy Ma would get what Cardi B is getting? No. Mine is just odd because everybody is going off of what is relevant now. So what about the legends that set the path for these people, especially the black females that set this path? It's not easy. But I'm gonna just go ahead, go back to the video,
Why does Amy's resume work and Monique does not? And they could not explain that.
Well, if you're just joining us, that's Sydney. That's Monique's managing husband. If you're just joining us, so you can, know the voices.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I want you to go ahead.
Well, I don't think Amy Schumer is funny. That's number one. But
this is another thing I hear a lot from people. I've been hearing this ever since this girl came out. Let me see, I don't know, 2015. I've been hearing about it. People say that she's not funny. I've heard it from black people, white people. That's mainly who I heard it from. That she's not funny. They don't see you where she is hilarious. I don't get it. I don't understand why she's making all this money. Like, who really is going to watch her? Because that's my thing, is what type of people is she drawing in? If she's drawing in such a big, huge crowd, that's what everyone said, that she's so, selling out. Like, she sell out, I guess, auditoriums or whatever. But I'm trying to figure out, if she's not funny, how is it that this girl is making money? I mean, is how we're gonna do it now? We're just gonna make money off of nothing, not having no time. Like I'm saying, like I go back to Cardi B. I don't think to me that she's the best rapper. She's not horrible. I won't say that she's horrible. She's not horrible. I just don't like that type of rapping that she does. That I don't know, that she always talks about Offset, pretty much her boyfriend, apparently who's cheating on her. You know, that's the rumor that I heard. But I hear this all the time. But let's go back. She
did sell out 50 arenas around the world, including MSG, and HBO wanted her as well. So she created a bidding war based on those stats. So I assume that's the reason her number was at that place.
Well, I want to address something because you said, I assume. And then you also said in the beginning when you start talking, you said, Monique is a legend. That's what you said.
Absolutely.
Right? And then when Robbie Prohl and Netflix also says, Monique is a legend. Correct?
Absolutely.
And you believe that Chris Rock is a legend, as I do as well.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you would say Dave Chappelle is a legend, right?
Absolutely.
What makes me a different legend from Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock?
Well, when it comes to that Netflix special, the fact that Dave Chappelle did 1,500 shows prior to signing his Netflix deal. Chris Rock was on tour with the Total Blackout Tour, selling our shows arenas around the world before they did that Netflix deal.
And they also lured him away from HBO.
Well, I understand what y'all are coming to the table with. When I came to the table and I said, guys, and I said it humbly, I'm the most decorated comedian alive. And I said that humbly.
Mm-hmm.
And then some people said, oh, Monique is crazy, till it was proven. Till everybody actually saw the numbers and said, well, I guess she's right about that. And when you say this is a what have you done for me lately, the question is, how much more do I have to do, brother? Because
stop right there. This is another thing too. If you're supposed to have something right now on the table, you're supposed to be doing something right now. Isn't she trying to do something now with Netflix and that didn't work out? If we're gonna say these people who coming back, who are legends, like if Missy Elliott's coming back or Janet Jackson's coming back, she came back last year, in 2017 to that tour, and everybody was like, what is she here for? Like she hasn't been doing nothing. That is her trying to come back and do something. I don't get it. Like, if you're coming back to do something, oh, what are you doing? You didn't do nothing at all in the other year. What are you doing now? You didn't do nothing last month or months before or a year ago. What are you doing something now? Now, if you do something, why do you want to come and do something now? You didn't. It's like, there's no win-win. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, even if she's trying to do something now about it, it still doesn't matter. You know, trying to make herself irrelevant, it does not matter. I keep hearing this, and I'm hearing people say this when it comes to, you know, people like Missy Elliott or Janet Jackson. What are they doing? Like, why are they here? Like, they said that about Janet Jackson. Like, what is she doing? Why is she here? Why are you here? You know, why are you doing this? Because she wants to make herself irrelevant. That's why she's here. That's why she's doing something. She wants people to know that she still has it. That's why she's here. So if you're not giving these people no opportunities, who else is going to give it to them? Go back to the video.
When you do a film called Almost Christmas, and that film has a $17 million budget, but it makes $45 million. And then my sister Amy Schumer does a film called Snatched, and that film makes $45 million, but it has a budget of $42 million. Now, what's the profit on that? I'm asking the question.
Yours made a lot more profit than Amy's.
Well,
did.
it was actually a $25 million profit.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa. I didn't even know that. Did anybody else know that Snatch literally made that much money? How much money did she made, like Amy made, versus is it I forgot what it's the movie that Monique had did. I have a bad memory, but she did. I did not know that at all. I didn't know that. That is a big difference. 25 million. That's a big difference. So that means Amy didn't even really make that much money. So my question is right here, who's making the money off of Amy. Seemed like to me, I think Amy should be talking right now because somebody using her. Oh my God, go back to the video,
That
yo.
movie Amy did her Netflix deal before Snatch, though.
No, because
Right.
he said, Robbie Pross said that was what made him also give it a deal because of the big movie that she had coming out.
Right.
And that's where we had to check.
Well, coming out. That was but she did the Netflix deal before that movie came out.
Well,
No.
we actually talked to the vice president of Netflix, Leonard.
Right.
And
So
what
my
happens
point-
is when you're basing off of what you're assuming, and then you give me a title of Donkey of the Day. Is your mother still alive?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're from what city in South Carolina?
Moncks Corner, South Carolina.
Moncks Corner. And if I
All right, shout out to South Carolina. That is where your girl Nelly is from. Well, I'm from Charleston. Shut down. I had to just do that for a little bit.
was to call your mother or your grandmother, could they tell me stories of inequality that they had to deal with?
Absolutely.
So would your mother be a donkey?
No.
Would your grandmother be a donkey?
No.
I need you to explain how you gave me the title because you're not explaining it. You're going off of what I assume. But because you're on that microphone, and when we open up these microphones, we know just how powerful our voices can be, don't we, Angela?
Yes, we do.
And we know that what we say can become law. Correct, Lenard?
Absolutely.
So when we do that, we must then explain it to our community because we know how poisonous it can be when we put things out, but we can't back it up. We just say it.
I think that there is I think everything you're saying about racial bias is absolutely correct. Gender bias is absolutely correct. We know that the black woman is unappreciated and undervalued in a lot of different industries. But I think that when it comes to this Netflix situation, it's very specific. I think it's more of an individual thing than it is a collective problem. Like, can you?
Okay, on Netflix, he said this is for an individual. What is a lot of things for a black person to watch on Netflix? I've been saying this for years. I think Hulu has more options for a black person. I'll sit down and watch Hulu all day. But Netflix, I always was be looking for things for black. And the only thing I see is, I don't know, Chris Rock and Dave Chappelle. That's about it. I actually do look up people's names. And I think Kevin Hart. It's not a lot on there. I want to look for more different varieties of black comedians and actors. I don't want to just look at the same old black people over and over again. It's not a lot of black shows on there for black people. So no, I gotta disagree with him on that again. I do understand what Charlamagne is talking about earlier about being irrelevant because that's what the media want. But I don't agree with the media. I don't agree with these companies like Netflix. Oh, you gotta have something right now or else we're not gonna do anything with you. My thing is, y'all don't even have a lot of black people on the period. And I'm not going to go watch no Amy Schumer. I didn't watch her in the past. I didn't think she was funny in the past, so I don't think she's funny now. So, yeah, go back to the video.
Can you honestly?
What we ask you is this. Can you say if it's an individual problem, how come that there are no individuals of color who happen to be female comedians that have had the multiple million-dollar paydays with Netflix? Because what happens with the black community, it's what have you done lately? But when you are a white person in this industry, it's you're only as good as your last project.
I thought it was drawing power. I thought it was
exactly.
the amount of people that will watch a special.
Do you think this is specific to comedians? Because I do know they've given out multi-million-dollar deals to Ava DuVernay, Shonda Rhimes. So you think it's specific to the comedy industry?
Well, I'll let you answer it. What black female comedian got the multi-million-dollar deal? Name her.
I know.
But don't you think it's coming? I'm sure
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish will be presented with something if she hasn't already.
Well, but we got to speak about the sisters that's done it.
Mm-hmm.
See, when Wanda Sykes is number 100 on Comedy Central's top comedians ever.
Number 70.
I'm sorry, Daddy, number 70 on the top 100 ever. But they offer her $250. So what do you say to that, Lenore?
Well, I actually asked about that. I spoke to somebody at Netflix, and they offered that deal to Wanda Sykes before this guy that does these stand-up deals even got in the position. They offered this deal to her some years ago.
Does it seem strange that you always have an answer when our finish line keeps getting moved?
When our finish line keeps getting moved?
When our finish line keeps getting moved. When I say, name me one black female comedian that's got the $1 million payday, I'm waiting to hear the answer.
Right. So you think it's specific to comedians? Because I don't know on Netflix any.
But
I can't say for sure.
And history name her.
Well,
He mentioned Tiffany Haddish. I don't think she's gonna ever get that deal either. I think people are kind of just, they're kind of slinging her name around. She didn't make that much money on Girl Trip. I don't know if anybody know about that. Do your research. She didn't make that much. She's very talented, very funny. I don't think she's gonna make that much. No, I don't think she will. I think they're gonna use her just like how they use all the other black actors and black female actors and black female comedians. I think they're gonna use her just the same way. And let me mention as to why this is early. I forgot to answer this question. Why is this important? Right now I live in a place called I live in Kansas. I won't say where, but in Kansas. You got a place called Junction City. There is no black stations there. None. But there's black people there. When I had moved there, I don't live there anymore. I asked the people who were black, I said, well, what radio stations do y'all listen to? The radio stations that they listened to, they were all like white owned. They were not black owned. There's no black music they're playing. The only time they play black music is on the mixed channels. That's it. They got mixed channels. That's not a black radio station. That's a white owned. And I said, I've never been in a place where, because I'm from the East Coast. I said, I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. I said, I've never been in a place where there is no black-owned radio stations. I thought that was odd and that was weird. I made video a while back about this. I'll put the link in the description. I made a video about this where blacks only have a small percentage over the radio stations and a small percentage over television. And my thing is, if you're in an area like Junction City, if you don't have nobody black, no black radio station, what is your black child growing up listening to? I mean, it's all right to listen to some white people music, but I would like to listen to my black brother and my black sister singing and rapping. So what are they listening to? What is your child going to listen to if they have no black artists? So this is very important. If we keep saying, that this is, I don't think that this is a gender thing. I don't think this is a color issue. It is. And sad to say, Asians and Spanish people have a either smaller opportunity as well as the blacks. It's even smaller for them. Who's going to sit down? Let's say it like this. Who's going to sit down and watch an all-Asian sitcom on television? Who's going to sit down and watch that in America? No, really, it's a small percentage. That's sad. This is what Monique is bringing out. She's bringing this out, and nobody wants to hear it. There was someone that had something in the comments. I'm going to put it at the end of the video, but I'm going to put it up now so you can see it. They even brought it out how, nobody wants to speak out against this. And Monique is the only one. Apparently he was Asian. He spoke out about it. And he said, I understand what Charlamagne, I do too. I understand what Charlamagne and God is talking about. You got to be irrelevant. You got to have something right now. But if we keep saying this, what is going to happen to our people, like our black people? If we keep shutting up and don't say nothing, because we don't have nothing now, we're going to use that as an excuse against one another. We need to be upbuilding one another. That's what we need to be doing. Back to the video.
What black female comedian has sold out 50 arenas around the world,
what I would
including
tell
MSG?
you is there's 4 beautiful black female comedians that we just got a Legends Award. Her name is Samore. Her name is Adele. Her name is Miss Laura. Her name is Monique. And when the Queens of Comedy was on tour, we made history. And I don't know if you've done your homework, because we were the only female group, black, white, Latin, Asian, to sell out consecutively around this country. But you'll disregard that because you'll say, well, what did you do yesterday? So you can't take it away.
But if I'm doing business and I'm basing it off doing a deal with somebody who did this last year as opposed to doing it 15 years ago or 20 years ago, whenever it was, wouldn't it make more sense to do it with the person who did it just a couple years ago?
If you're doing business and you say, what's Monique's resume? Now you're the businessman and you're looking at that resume and everything on that resume says, number 1, Everything on that resume says sell out. Now all of a sudden, is it going to change, businessman?
Yeah. If I had to sign Kobe Bryant today, I'm not going to give Kobe Bryant a $100 million contract.
Well,
How is that going to change? If she's been selling out all along, how is that going to change? I would go pay to see her if she came around close to me. I mean, where I'm at. Oh, and this is another thing, too, I wanted to bring out. Where I live at, you know, just to let black people know how important this is, that we need to upbuild each other when it comes to things like this. There is no black people that perform in places like Topeka and Junction City, Kansas. You got to go to Kansas City. Yes, you have to go all the way to Kansas City, I believe Missouri, to actually see black artists perform. So if you don't think it's a problem now, it is a problem. But white people, they can come all over Kansas and perform. I actually made a video about this, that there's not really any culture, any black culture really, in certain places in Kansas. Not all over, but is in the majority of places. There is even a place called White City, where white people can roam, but the black people have a curfew. See, y'all don't see how important this is. It's bigger than this. If we don't sit here and uplift and upbuild one another, we are not going to have any kind of black entertainers in certain areas, because the white people have the majority. They have it all. They have they have more ownership over everything. A lot more ownership over everything, more than blacks. So if you want to continue to keep hearing a whole bunch of white people, keep seeing a whole bunch of white performers, that's cool. But I would love to see black performers. You know, I would love to see black entertainers. Can I see them? Go back to the video.
But his resume is amazing.
The difference between Kobe Bryant today and Monique today is, when you 36 in the game of basketball, you done lost your step. When you are 50 years old in the game of comedy, you're seasoned. And if they had to come to Netflix, to your point, because you make a very good point, and Monique had stumbled like a 40-year-old or a 38-year-old Kobe Bryant who's got a ruptured Achilles heel that you got to bounce back from, then it would make sense. But if he dropped 50 and still was dropping buckets, what would you say? Because they watched 2 standing ovations in 2 sold-out clubs.
You're absolutely right, Brother Sidney. But let me ask you this. Why not put together a theater or arena tour and sell that out and then come back to the table? Our table special yourself.
It doesn't have to go there. See, my whole thing is that's something else. We're talking about the money offered. And my whole thing is, as a businessman, being a legend and all that doesn't necessarily matter. It's who the people want to see. You could be a legend and people love you, but if you can't attract the people to come to the place to see you or to come to Netflix to watch you, it doesn't mean anything.
Y'all talking about selling out clubs versus selling out arenas.
No, I'm saying Netflix as well.
But here would be the question.
You know what I mean?
Here would be the question.
Mm-hmm.
So he talking about making theaters. Okay, you're already saying that she can't sell out, arenas. She can't bring in the numbers for Netflix. So why is she gonna make a theater? That don't make no sense, Charlamagne. Like, make sense. Like, you already say you have to be irrelevant, which I hear all the time. Like, you gotta have something, to bring to the table. But you want to make a theater? And I was at MVE homeboy. No, I forgot his name. But the dude that's over there on the microphone, he brought it out. Like, if she ain't doing that, then why is she gonna make a theater? It don't make no sense. You gotta have people bagging you up. You gotta have, like I say, you gotta be uplifting. You gotta be upbuilding. You gotta be bringing each other up.
Almost Christmas. Would you say that was a hit movie?
Definitely a hit movie.
Would you say Bessie was a hit?
Yes.
Would you say
Precious
was a hit?
Absolutely.
So the question is, Monique, you didn't do nothing in 2017 that was on TV that we could see. So that means you're irrelevant?
I don't think anything's irrelevant, not at all.
What happens in the community, what you're saying to the community is, as black women, you're devalued. And if you stand up and you make a stand and you say, we need equality, and we have to say what's right and what's...
Agree with Charlamagne and God, or do you agree with Monique and her husband? I myself, I believe in always that blacks should be upholding blacks no matter what, because the other races are doing it. Why can't we do it? So thumbs up will be dope. Thumbs down not gonna make me frown, because haters are my motivators. Peace.
And then a brother that looks like me from South Carolina says, you're the donkey of the day. You have to explain that to our community.